I was sitting in my car at 11:30 on a Saturday night, hands gripping the steering wheel, staring at nothing. 3 hours ago, I thought I had a solid relationship. Now everything had crumbled because of one sentence that kept replaying in my head: I needed a real man. But here is the thing that hurt more than those words. It was not just her. My closest friends, the guys I had known since college, the ones I trusted with everything, they stood by her side. They looked at me like I was the problem, like I was overreacting, like I deserved what happened. But I did not beg. I did not argue. I just smiled, grabbed my keys, and walked out. Before I tell you how everything unraveled that night, let me ask you something. Where are you watching this from? Drop your city or country in the comments, because I want to know I am not alone in this. If you have ever felt betrayed by someone you trusted, hit that like button right now. Subscribe if you want to hear how this story ends, because trust me, those 32 missed calls the next morning, that was just the beginning. Let me take you back to where it all started. My name is Burke. I am a software engineer at a startup in Seattle. Nothing fancy, just good honest work that pays the bills and keeps me busy. I have always been the reliable guy, the one people call when they need help moving furniture at 7 a.m. on a Sunday. The guy who shows up early and stays late. My friends used to joke that I was the human equivalent of a golden retriever, loyal to a fault. Maybe they were right. I met Jenna 2 years ago, at an art gallery in Pioneer Square. I was there because my coworker dragged me along, insisting I needed more culture in my life. I stood awkwardly in front of an abstract painting, trying to figure out if it was supposed to be upside down, when I heard someone laugh behind me. I turned around and there she was. Jenna had this energy about her that filled a room. She was vibrant, outgoing, worked in marketing for some tech company downtown. We were opposites in every way. I was quiet and methodical. She was spontaneous and loud. People say opposites attract, and for a while it felt true. Those first few months were sweet. I thought I was the luckiest guy alive. I would pick her up after work, surprise her with her favorite coffee, order cooked dinner on Friday nights. She used to tell me I was the most reliable man she had ever met, and I wore that like a badge of honor. We had a group of friends we hung out with every weekend. Marcus, my best friend since freshman year of college. Tyler and Jason, guys I played basketball with on Thursday nights. All of them had girlfriends too. Stephanie was with Marcus. Alexis dated Tyler. Brianna was Jason's girl. We would gather at someone's apartment, order pizza, watch the game, just normal weekend stuff. Life felt good, stable, safe. But around 6 months ago, things started shifting. Subtle at first. Jenna joined a new gym, some CrossFit box on the north side of town. I was supportive. I told her it was great she was finding time for herself. She deserved to have her own hobbies. But then she started getting busier. She would check her phone more often during dinner, smiling at messages she would not share. When I asked, she would laugh it off. Just group chat drama, she would say. She stopped wanting to go hiking with me on Sundays, something we used to do religiously. Her excuse was always the same. I am too sore from training. When I cooked dinner, she would eat quickly and head back to her place early, claiming she had an early meeting the next day. We had not moved in together yet, which now felt like a blessing. 3 months ago, I started noticing a name pop up in conversation more and more. Drew, her trainer at the gym. Drew says I should focus on protein intake. Drew thinks I have potential for competition. At first, I brushed it off. I did not want to be that jealous boyfriend who got insecure over a trainer. But the feeling gnawed at me. 2 months ago, our group hangouts became less frequent. When we did meet up, Jenna seemed distant. She would sit on her phone, texting, barely engaging with anyone. Marcus pulled me aside once. "Everything cool with you two?" he asked. I forced a smile. "Yeah, just work stress," I lied. But deep down I knew something was wrong. I just did not want to admit it. Then came that Friday night. I decided to surprise Jenna. I stopped by the florist, picked up a bouquet of tulips, her favorite. I grabbed salmon and asparagus from the market and headed to her apartment around 7 p.m. I had the spare key she gave me months ago. I wanted to reconnect. It felt like we were drifting, and I thought maybe a nice dinner together would help us get back on track. I unlocked her door and heard laughter coming from the living room. I stepped inside and froze. Jenna was on the couch with a man I had never seen before. They were not in some compromising position, but they were sitting close. Too close. The guy was tall, muscular, wearing a tank top that showed off his arms covered in tattoos. I knew immediately it was Drew. Jenna jumped up when she saw me. "Burke, I did not know you were coming." Her voice had that high-pitched tone people use when they are caught off guard. Drew did not even stand. He just leaned back on the couch, looking at me with this smirk that made my stomach turn. I stood there holding the flowers like an idiot. "I wanted to surprise you," I said quietly. Jenna rushed over. "Drew just stopped by to drop off some supplements." Drew laughed from the couch. "Yeah, supplements." The way he said it made my blood run cold. I set the flowers down on the table. "I should go. You guys continue." Jenna followed me to the door. "Burke, do not be ridiculous. It is nothing." But I was already walking to my car. I drove home in silence, my mind racing with questions I did not have answers to yet. I should have confronted her right then, but I did not. Instead, I made the mistake of asking my friends for advice, and that is when everything truly fell apart. I could not sleep that night. At 11 p.m., I called Marcus. His voice was groggy when he answered. "Dude, it is almost midnight." I told him what happened. I explained seeing Drew at Jenna's place, the way they were sitting together, the look on Drew's face. Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Man, you sure you are not overreacting?" I felt like I had been slapped. Overreacting. There was a guy in her apartment at night. Marcus sighed. "But did you see anything actual? Like, were they doing anything?" I stammered. "No, but..." "Look," Marcus interrupted. "Jenna is friendly. Maybe you are being paranoid. Talk to her tomorrow when you are calm." I hung up feeling worse than before. I opened our group chat with Tyler and Jason. I typed out what happened, keeping it brief. Tyler responded 5 minutes later. "Bro, Jenna is not that type." "You are probably misreading the situation," Jason chimed in. "Maybe give her space. Being too clingy pushes girls away." I stared at my phone in disbelief. Was I crazy? Was I really overreacting? I spent the rest of the night scrolling through social media, unable to shut my brain off. Then I saw it. Jenna had posted an Instagram story an hour after I left. It was a photo from the gym with the caption "Late Night Gains" and Drew was tagged. My chest tightened, but I tried to convince myself I was being paranoid. Maybe Marcus was right. The next morning, Jenna called me. Her voice was sweet, apologetic. "Baby, about last night. Can we talk?" I agreed to meet her at our usual Starbucks near Pike Place Market. When I arrived, she was already there, 2 coffees on the table. She looked at me with those big eyes and started explaining. Drew was just her trainer. He came over to discuss a new training program. "You know I would never do anything to hurt you, right?" She reached across the table and touched my hand. I wanted to believe her. I wanted everything to go back to normal. But something in my gut still felt off. "Why did you not tell me he was coming over?" I asked. She hesitated. It was last minute. I did not think it mattered. I could see tears forming in her eyes. "I cannot believe you do not trust me." Suddenly I felt guilty, like I was the bad guy. "I am sorry," I said. "I do trust you." She smiled and squeezed my hand. "Let's have dinner with the guys tonight. Show everyone we are fine." That evening we gathered at Marcus and Stephanie's apartment. The whole crew was there. Marcus and Stephanie, Tyler and Alexis, Jason and Brianna, Jenna and me. We ordered pizza, cracked open some beers, and turned on the football game. For the first hour, everything seemed normal. But then I noticed Jenna checking her phone constantly. Every few minutes, she would glance down, type something, smile. When I leaned over and whispered, "Everything okay?" she snapped back, "Yeah, why?" Her tone was sharp, defensive. A few minutes later, she excused herself to the balcony to take a call. I watched through the glass door as she paced back and forth, animated, laughing. 15 minutes passed. When she finally came back inside, Her cheeks were flushed. I could not take it anymore. When she sat down next to me, I asked quietly, "Who was that?" She barely looked at me. "Just work stuff." On Saturday night I pressed. Her face hardened. "Why are you interrogating me?" Her voice rose slightly. The room went quiet. Everyone turned to look at us. Marcus set down his beer. "Burke, man, chill out." I felt heat rising in my chest. "I just asked a question." Tyler shook his head. "Dude, you are being controlling." The word hit me like a punch. Controlling, I looked around the room. No one was on my side. Jenna stood up abruptly. "You know what, I am done with this." I stood too. Done with what? What is going on? She turned to face me, and her eyes were cold. Colder than I had ever seen them. "You really want to know?" The room fell silent. Everyone was staring. Waiting. Jenna took a deep breath, and when she spoke, her voice was eerily calm. "Fine. I have been seeing Drew." The words hung in the air. I felt like someone had knocked the wind out of me. What I managed to choke out. "For 2 months," she continued. "And honestly, I needed it." My mind was spinning. "Needed what?" She smiled. It was not a kind smile. It was cruel, mocking. "A real man, Burke. Someone who does not need constant reassurance. Someone who actually makes me feel alive." The room fell dead, silent. I stood there frozen, waiting for someone, anyone, to defend me. But what happened next broke something inside me deeper than her words ever could. I looked around the room. Marcus would not meet my eyes. Stephanie, his girlfriend, shook her head slowly. "Maybe you two just were not compatible," she said softly. Tyler leaned back in his chair. "Relationships are complicated, bro." Alexis, Tyler's girlfriend, added, "I always thought Jenna seemed unfulfilled. I felt like I was in a nightmare." These were my friends, people I had known for years. Jason stayed silent, staring at the floor. But Brianna, his girlfriend, looked right at me. "Burke, you are kind of predictable, you know." Maybe she needed more excitement. Jenna crossed her arms, looking almost triumphant. "See, even they get it. You are too safe, too boring. I need passion, spontaneity, not someone who schedules date nights 2 weeks in advance." Marcus finally spoke up. "Maybe this is a wake-up call, Burke, to work on yourself." I felt the world collapsing around me. These people were supposed to be my friends. They were supposed to have my back. Instead, they were validating her betrayal, making me feel like I deserved it, like I was the problem. I stood there processing everything. My girlfriend just admitted to cheating on me. My friends were taking her side. And somehow I was the villain in this story. Then something shifted inside me. A strange calm washed over me. I was not going to cry. I was not going to yell. I was not going to give them the satisfaction of seeing me break down. I took a slow, deep breath. Everyone was watching me, waiting for my reaction. Jenna had her arms crossed, looking almost proud of herself. Marcus leaned forward. "You gonna say something?" I smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was just this weird, calm acceptance of the absurdity of it all. Jenna frowned. "What is so funny?" I shook my head slowly. "Nothing. Absolutely nothing." Jason stayed silent, staring at the floor. But Brianna, his girlfriend, looked right at me. "Burke, you are kind of predictable, you know." Maybe she needed more excitement. Jenna crossed her arms, looking almost triumphant. "See, even they get it. You are too safe, too boring. I need passion, spontaneity, not someone who schedules date nights 2 weeks in advance." Marcus finally spoke up. "Maybe this is a wake-up call, Burke, to work on yourself." I felt the world collapsing around me. I walked out and closed the door gently behind me. No slamming, no drama, just a quiet exit. I walked down the stairs to my car. The Seattle drizzle had started, typical for a Saturday night in November. I got in, started the engine, and drove. No destination in mind, just away. Away from that apartment, away from those people, away from the life I thought I had. And here is the strange part. I was not crying. I was not angry. I just felt empty, but also strangely light. Like a weight I did not know I was carrying had been lifted. I drove home to my apartment and sat in the dark. I could see notifications lighting up my phone, but I did not touch it. I just stared out the window at the Seattle skyline, thinking about the last 2 years. All the plans we made. All the times I thought we were building something real. It all felt like a lie now. But the weird thing was, I did not feel devastated. I felt relieved. Someone who is going through their own betrayal. Someone who needs to know they are not alone. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helped you in some way. Remember, walking away with dignity is not giving up. It is choosing yourself, and you deserve that. Take care of yourself out there. Until next time. Jason stayed silent, staring at the floor. But Brianna, his girlfriend, looked right at me. Burke, you are kind of predictable, you know. Maybe she needed more excitement. Jenna crossed her arms, looking almost triumphant. See, even they get it. You are too safe, too boring. I need passion, spontaneity, not someone who schedules date nights 2 weeks in advance. Marcus finally spoke up. Maybe this is a wake-up call, Burke, to work on yourself. I felt the world collapsing around me. I was not going to give them the satisfaction of seeing me break down. I took a slow, deep breath. Everyone was watching me, waiting for my reaction. Jenna had her arms crossed, looking almost proud of herself. Marcus leaned forward. You gonna say something? I smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was just this weird, calm acceptance of the absurdity of it all. Jenna frowned. What is so funny? I shook my head slowly. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But I learned something important through all of this. Real love does not make you feel like you are never enough. Real love does not demand you become someone you are not. True friends stand by you in your darkest moments, not just when it is convenient for them. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away. Not with anger, not with revenge, just with quiet dignity. Healing is not about getting closure from others. It is about giving yourself permission to move forward. I care that I lost you. Please, can we talk? I played Marcus's voicemail, next recorded at 4 a.m. Burke, man, I am an idiot. We all are. Drew came by with his girl. She is 6 months pregnant. He played Jenna the whole time. We watched her break down, and we realized how badly we messed up. You were right. About everything. Call me back. Please. I stood there in my apartment, phone in hand, reading message after message of apologies and regrets. Part of me wanted to feel vindicated, satisfied, like I had won something. But mostly, I just felt sad. Sad that it had come to this. Sad that these people showed me who they really were. I could have sent a message, could have said I told you so, could have rubbed it in their faces. But what would that accomplish? They already knew they were wrong. They were living with that now. I did not need to add to it, so I did not respond. Not to Jenna, not to Marcus, not to any of them. I turned off my phone completely, grabbed my hiking pack and headed out. I drove east toward the mountains, toward the trails I used to love, before everything got complicated. The sky was overcast, but that is just Seattle. By the time I reached the trailhead, my phone had buzzed 17 more times in my bag. I left it in the car and started walking. For the first time in years, I was truly alone, and it felt like freedom. The first week after everything happened, I threw myself into work. Every single message had the same desperate energy. I read through them without responding. Jenna's messages started at 2:15 a.m. Burke, please call me. This is serious. I made a huge mistake. Drew, he is not who I thought. Please answer. Marcus started texting at 3 a.m. Dude, pick up. You need to know something. About Drew and Jenna. Call me as soon as possible. Tyler at 3:30. Bro, I am sorry. We were wrong. So wrong. Then I saw the voicemails. Slowly, quietly, I was rebuilding. 2 weeks after that night, my phone rang from an unknown number. Normally I would not answer, but something made me pick up. It was Jason. Burke, I know you do not want to talk to us, but I need to say this. I am sorry. Really sorry. We were terrible friends. I listened in silence. He continued, Marcus and Tyler. They are sorry too. Jenna has been a mess. Drew dumped her completely. She keeps asking about you. I finally spoke. I hope she is okay. Genuinely. Jason sounded surprised. You are not angry. I thought about it. I was. Now I am just done. I need to focus on me. There was a pause. Can we ever be friends again? I was honest. I do not know. Maybe someday. But not now. I need space from all of that. Jason understood. We hung up and I felt okay about it. A month passed. I joined a hiking group through a meetup app. Just people who liked getting outdoors on weekends. No drama, no history, just shared love of nature. I had a big project at the startup building out a new feature for our platform, and I used it as an escape. I stayed late at the office coding until my eyes blurred. I started going to a different gym, one on the other side of town, nowhere near Jenna's CrossFit box. I discovered I actually enjoyed weightlifting when I was not worried about running into anyone I knew. I cooked elaborate meals for myself, trying recipes from YouTube channels I had bookmarked, but never had time for. Not the one Jenna and I used to go to. This was a local place in Fremont, quieter, better coffee. I was working on my laptop on a Saturday morning when I heard a voice. Burke, I looked up. It was Jenna. She looked different, thinner, dark circles under her eyes. The confidence she used to radiate was gone. Can I sit down? She asked quietly. I hesitated but nodded. She sat across from me, hands wrapped around a cup of tea she had ordered. I do not expect you to forgive me, she started. I just wanted to say I am sorry. For everything. I nodded. I appreciate that. She looked down at her cup. You were right. About all of it. Drew, the friends, everything. I threw away the best thing I had. I looked at her and felt nothing. Not anger, not sadness, just neutral. I hope you find what you are looking for, Jenna. Really? Her voice cracked. Is there any chance? I shook my head gently. No. But I wish you well. A tear rolled down her cheek. Goodbye, Burke. Goodbye, Jenna. She stood up and walked out. I went back to my laptop. Sitting there after she left, I thought about everything that had happened. The betrayal, the hurt, the confusion, but also the growth. I used to think love meant sacrificing everything for someone else, making yourself smaller so they could feel bigger. I used to think I needed to be enough for someone, that if I just tried harder, was better, more exciting, then I would be worthy of love. I met people from all walks of life. A teacher, a nurse, a graphic designer. We would hit different trails, grab breakfast after talk about anything except relationships. It was refreshing. At work, I got promoted to team lead. My manager noticed how focused I had become. I moved to a smaller apartment with a better view closer to the trails. Fresh start, new space, new energy. 3 months after that Saturday night, I was sitting in a different coffee shop. I am not bitter. I am not resentful. I am actually grateful for what happened, because it taught me to love myself first. It taught me that I am worthy, exactly as I am. Reliable, steady, kind. Those are not weaknesses. Those are strengths. 6 months after everything fell apart, I found myself at the summit of Mailbox Peak. It is one of the toughest hikes near Seattle, steep and relentless, but the view from the top is worth every painful step. I stood there alone, looking out at the city below the mountains, stretching into the distance. My phone was in my pack, silent. No frantic calls, no desperate messages, just peace. A woman around my age reached the summit a few minutes after me, breathing hard, smiling. Hell of a climb was not it, she said. I smiled back. Worth it, though. We started talking. About the trail, about Seattle, about life. I was not in a hurry. I was not expecting anything. I was just enjoying the moment. Just being present. I do not know where life will take me next. Maybe I will find love again. Maybe I will not. But for the first time in a long time, I am okay with not knowing, because I have learned the most important thing. The only person who needs to believe I am enough is me. And that is more than enough. So let me ask you something. Have you ever had to walk away from people you thought were your friends? Have you ever felt like you were not enough, only to realize later that you were always more than enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and your stories matter. If this resonated with you, smash that like button. Subscribe so you do not miss future stories, because trust me, there is more where this came from. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. These people were supposed to be my friends. They were supposed to have my back. Instead, they were validating her betrayal, making me feel like I deserved it, like I was the problem. I stood there processing everything. My girlfriend just admitted to cheating on me. My friends were taking her side. And somehow I was the villain in this story. Then something shifted inside me. A strange calm washed over me. I was not going to cry. I was not going to yell.